Hello, hello, Advanced Wealth Strategies. I am so excited because we have our housing panel today. This is a trio of some incredible women that I have known and worked with for years. I am so pleased to share them with you. First of all, we have Megan Mazurk. Megan, a little wave there. She's with Reinhardt Realtors. Megan specializes in Washtenaw County, but can really go anywhere in the state of Michigan, does a lot in Washtenaw, Wayne, Livingston County, really southeastern Michigan. She's just incredible and a powerhouse. If you're from this area, you know who Megan is. She's so involved in the community. We also have Erica Powers. Erica is a mortgage broker with First Merchants Bank. Erica is such a breath of fresh air when it comes to the mortgage world because she actually will tell people, even if you can get this limit, maybe you shouldn't. So she pays attention to the bigger financial picture, which I just love as a financial planner and someone who I really enjoy collaborating with. And then we have Jill Villamere. I've actually known Jill since my college days, and then we re-met up as future professionals. And she's with Acrisure, and she sells personal lines of insurance. So thank you, ladies, for being here today and being willing to share your expertise and your knowledge with the AWS community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Of
having us.
course. Well, let's just jump in. I know there's a lot of talk about the housing market, about interest rates, about the types of protection we should have. So I've just got a few questions that I thought might be important for today's market. Let's start off with you, Megan. Tell us a little bit about inventory, and people have talked on and off over the last year or so about a potential recession and the bubble bursting and like when do we buy? What do you see out there? What are you hearing on the streets of
Yeah.
Reinhardt Realtors?
Yes. Well, inventory picks up in the spring. So it's nice that we are in the spring market right now and we are seeing a lot of activity. Unfortunately, we still don't have enough inventory, but it's definitely more than we had in the winter. So this is a good time for buyers to be able to look for a house as more options are available than they were in the winter. As far as a bubble bursting, that is not something that we're going to see. This is a totally different market than where we were in 2008 when the bubble burst. And there might be some parallels in the economy, but it's a everything is different, and we're not in a situation where owners of homes aren't able to stay in their houses, and that's where we were before, and that's why there was a burst. We're still seeing uh, prices going up. We're still seeing competition for houses. It's still crazy out there. I tell people it's not quite as crazy as coming out of COVID when there were so many people making real estate decisions because of COVID. Now it's more decisions because people have to versus want to. So people relocating here for jobs, people getting married and buying a house together, people getting divorced and having to sell a house and find two new houses or whatever. But yeah, it's a good time to buy, but it's, being prepared and being able to work with a professional team to kind of guide you through the process is very important.
Well, and one thing you kind of touched on, and it has to do with your specialty, but with regards to some dips or changes in pricing, what have you historically seen with Washtenaw County? And when there are even recessions or changes in pricing of the housing market, how does Ann Arbor and Washtenaw County typically react when those scenarios are happening?
I mean, even at the worst of it, like Ann Arbor, people describe Ann Arbor as an island, and the big thing is the blessing of having the University of Michigan here. Like, it just means jobs and it means education. Like, I have buyers that are coming here for law school that are buying a house while they're in school, buyers that are coming here for new jobs at Michigan. It just brings people here. And if they can't or don't want to be in Ann Arbor, then they'll look in the surrounding areas, which is why Washtenaw remains a very strong place because real estate is happening all year round here for so many reasons. So there's even when it's slower or when other areas are seeing more of a dip, like there's still so much demand here, not enough inventory. So it keeps the market active.
Yeah. I've heard, and sometimes when it comes to the housing market in Washtenaw County, that it seems to be recession proof.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to full on say recession proof, but it's a safe, I mean, it's a safe
Yeah,
bet to be in Ann Arbor because there's
great.
always going to be demand. I mean, the university is not going anywhere. So, and then beyond the university, there's also several big employers here. Ann Arbor Spark works very hard to attract businesses here that then attract talent to keep our
Yes,
community thriving.
absolutely. Well, let's head over to Erica because Erica, as we talk about this potential, housing bubble burst and when do I buy the house? Sometimes I hear people are waiting for the interest rates to lower. Can you tell me how somebody navigates between the decision of purchasing now versus, potentially waiting for a rate drop?
I mean, I think if you find a house that you really like and it fits your budget and your needs, then you should buy it now. I think if you're waiting and hoping that rates will go down, we've had people waiting for a couple of years now for rates to go down, and they've only continued to go up. So in that time, the price of the houses have continued to go up, and they would have paid a lot less in interest had they bought the house before. And they pay less than they're going to pay for the house if they bought the house now. So I think if you find the house and you like the house, you buy the house. And then if rates come down in the future, you can refinance, but at
Yeah.
least you won't be paying more for the house in the future.
Well, and I don't know about the three of you, but each of the homes that I've purchased, I've refinanced each of those. So I don't or didn't end up with the initial rate that I had. There was an opportunity eventually to refinance. And whether you're watching those opportunities or not, I know, Erica, you watch the opportunities and you seek out communication with your clients to say, hey, there's a potential opportunity for us to review this. And maybe we even shorten the terms, therefore reducing significantly what somebody may pay overall for the term of that loan.
Yes, 100%. I'm always watching for all of my clients. And when I think that it makes sense, I'm following back up with them. And I'm also keeping in touch with them because there are things that change. Maybe they do want to pay the house off more quickly, or maybe they're wanting to not pay it off as quickly because they have other expenses coming up, kids going to college or whatever it may be, and they need a
Sure.
little bit of a savings with a lower interest rate. So there's always an opportunity to make a change, but it is a lot harder to find the house than it is to make a change with the mortgage.
And Erica, one of the things I love about you is that you're licensed in all 50 states, which means whether we have clients buying here in Michigan, in Florida, even, wherever, you're able to help those individuals.
Yeah, I do loans all over the country, and I regularly do that. So I'm very familiar with it. And yeah, I like to help people wherever they're at.
Great. Well, we know we have a lot of clients that will do rentals or they'll have secondary properties. And I know that you've been really helpful in some of those cases as well. And so we just definitely appreciate just the way that you think about things. It's not just numbers with you. Like I said, you're very thoughtful in the way that you recommend a purchase for a client. So I appreciate that too. Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. Last but certainly not least on our panel is Jill. Jill, oh my gosh, one of the hot topics I hear so much is why is my homeowner's insurance so expensive? Oh, I hate to start off with that, but why don't we just hit it straight on? Why don't you tell us a little bit more about, in your professional opinion, what's been going on with homeowners insurance rates and what advice do you have to people?
So yes, I get that question, if not every day, numerous times without the day. Um, Most people are seeing an increase on their home insurance, about 22% is what we're seeing at our agency. And a lot of it has a factor of the weather. The weather has been awful the last couple of years, and when there's weather issues, there's claims, and when there's claims, money's being paid out. So that's a huge issue, what causes the increase of your insurance. Another one is shortage of people who can do those repairs.
Mhm.
Trades are not as easy to get to these days. So when you find one, you're going to pay more. And then materials. Materials are also on the increase. So that also plays a factor in your rate as well.
Well, and that kind of goes along with something we look at with when we're reviewing insurances, which is like replacement cost rate. Can you touch a little bit on how important it is to review that, like how frequently, maybe coincide that with umbrella policies, because that's
Yeah,
just one of
sure.
my favorite words in this field.
So replacement cost, when you originally get your home written, or even with a new provider, they run a replacement cost estimator on your home. And what that does, it determines on how much we should cover that house for. Um, if you don't review it every couple, I always tell people to do it at least every couple of years, 5 years maybe at the most, because things change, material costs change. You might have added a new kitchen or upgraded a bathroom, and those materials cost more than what that original home had. So if you don't let your insurance know that you've done these changes, if a total loss happens, they're not going to take that into factor when they go to rebuild your new home. So you could be at that point underinsured. Home insurance usually have like a inflation built into it, but like the upgrades and stuff, that's not going to be accounted for. And then as for your favorite word, umbrella, umbrella does what it does, it provides an additional liability amount above your policy limits. So on your homeowner's policy, you probably have 300,000, a half a million worth of coverage. If you get sued over those policy limits, you are then responsible to pay the rest of that lawsuit. Without an umbrella, you would have to pay out of your pocket. They can go after your retirement, garnish future wages amount. What umbrella does is protect that above your policy limit. And it doesn't just cover your home, it also covers your auto. It covers any rental properties that you may have as long as they're in your personal name. So it doesn't just cover one policy, it covers all of them.
It's such an invaluable type of protection to get. And I
And
recommend that our clients talk to agents such as yourself. And one of the things I love about you, Jill, there's many, but one of the things I love is that you're an independent agent.
Mhm.
So unlike a captive agent that's with just one company and can offer you only that company's protection, you're able to shop it out in 50 states as well and
Mhm.
other countries. You're able to shop it out and be able to see what carrier might be the best fit for each person, right?
That's correct. And also, so like, say we write you with company X, Y, and Z, and then 2 years down the road, you're like, your rates have really gone up. You're like, Jill, my
Mhm.
rates, what's going on? Maybe that company took a big rate increase. So what we can do is
Mhm.
shop it internally, which doesn't cost anything extra, doesn't take any time from the client, and we'll shop it with all our other carriers. And if we find something better, we'll present you like, hey, this new company is same coverages and it's going to save you $500. And then at that time, you can make the decision to change or keep it. You're like, well, they paid my claim and I really like working with them. I want to stay with them. So
Sure.
we do have those options for you too.
Well, and how companies handle claims is really important. The whole adage of you get what you pay for is so true. And unfortunately, sometimes I've seen individuals who have had policies. They went at it from a cost perspective that potentially left them underinsured or with a company that maybe wasn't great when they actually had a claim to file because you really don't care about insurance until you need them, until you need them
Right.
to come and help bail you out of a bad situation. And so making sure that you have a good agent during those timeframes can be crucial to ensuring that you have most positive experience possible when it comes to making you whole again too. So.
We also have, so when it comes to claims, we have an internal claims department too. So
Hmm.
when you're going through that claim process, let's say for some reason you can't get a hold of your adjuster or you just don't like what they're saying, you can call our department who doesn't work for the company and then they can help you get that claim settled or even follow up like what's going on with this person. So you're never alone. It's never you
Right.
against the adjuster. You have support too, which is I always feel is nice too that knowing you have someone to lean on like, okay, this is what they're telling me. It doesn't make sense or I just don't understand. Can you explain it to me? Or if you're like on the fence, do I want to file this claim? How is this going to affect my rate? Sometimes we can actually go in there and say, if you file this claim, it's going to be this much, or there's not going to really be that, it's not going to hit your policy that hard. So you can talk it out through a person. And if you decide not to file that claim, it will never show up on a claims report.
That's great. Good advice. And ladies, I really, again, can't say enough about all the things that you have done for my personally, my clients, professionally. It's just such a pleasure to work with the three of you. I have also lent my reputation by having each of you on our business professional directory on our website. So, there's not that many people up there. If your name is up there, I trust you, and each of you are there. Thank you for everything that you've given to us today and for all that you continue to do for not just your clients, but also the community. I know each of you are very active in the community, and I think that speaks a lot of your caliber as well. So great to have you today. Thanks so much again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.